Luke here for Simbox. Delighted to be joined by boxing trainer Billy Nelson. Billy, how are we doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I am looking forward to next week. So putting in Martin's putting in hard yards now. So
Of course,
all
the big fight
very
in
busy.
Los Angeles coming up in August the 3rd. Martin Bakole takes on Jared Anderson on the undercard of Terence Crawford world title fight. A huge opportunity for Martin, Billy, and one I'm sure you was happy to secure for your man.
100%. It's the opportunity that is we've been screaming for, and now we've been given the chance. We've got to grasp it with both hands, and I'm 100% confident he will.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, he's got the wins over Tony Yoka and a stoppage win last time out over Carlos Takam in a way that no one's ever finished Carlos Takam that quick. But do you believe that this is the coming out party for Martin Bakole with it being on such a high platform with the Riyadh season and also fighting someone in Jared Anderson that's got a lot of hype behind him and he's a high profile fighter himself? Is this the coming out party for Martin Bakole on the world stage?
Well, they say he's a high profile fighter, but he's not as high profile as well, profile wise, aye. But ratings wise, he's not because Martin's number one in the WBA.
Yep.
Uh, I'll tell you, Martin was injured before he fought Takam.
Yep.
Given that was it, the excuse for his weight being so heavy, he couldn't run for weeks leading up to the fight, and he disposed of him quite comfortably. And there's so much more a Martin Bakole for people to see. There's a whole lot more. He's not peaked yet, and he's only 31. I think he's 31 now. But you know, Jared Anderson will come and fight. He says he'll come and fight. Whether Sugar Hill will let him come and fight Martin Bakole, because remember, Sugar Hill has seen Martin Bakole many times against Joe Parker, against Jarrell Miller, Tyson Fury, or all these good fighters, and Sugar Hill knows what Martin Bakole can do.
Absolutely. Now, in your words, Billy, tell us about Jared Anderson. What do you see when you obviously I'm sure as a trainer you've watched countless hours of him. What do you make of Jared Anderson?
Very good fighter, crisp puncher. I've seen him take some sloppy shots, and I think we're very confident we know the best way to beat this guy, and we've worked very very hard doing so.
Do you think Jared Anderson knows what he's getting himself into with Martin Bakole? That Martin Bakole is still somewhat of an unknown quantity, really. And obviously, here in the UK, we know all about Bakole, but maybe in the States, he's not got the same kind of profile. Do you think Jared Anderson's not he doesn't know what he's getting himself in for?
No, but Top Rank, no, because Top Rank we went to sign Martin uh, 18 months ago.
Right.
So they do know. But fair play to Anderson for taking the fight. It's either Anderson wins the fight, moves on, which I don't see happening, or he loses and he's only 24, so he's got plenty of time to come back again. I think it might be a step too soon.
Absolutely. Now, with Martin, obviously, he had that win against, as we say, over Takam. That was back in October. What was the reason for the absence from the ring up to now, Billy? Where's it took until August to get him back out? Is there any injuries there that he's overcome, or is it just not had the
No,
dates?
we just know how the dates. We've been available for fights, and well, we were supposed to fight Joe Joyce, and the fight was offered. We accepted it, and then Joe Joyce's team said they don't want it, and end up he's going to be fighting Derek Chisora on Saturday. But even for October, that was October, November, December, January, February. That 7 or 8 months since he won in Saudi Arabia. We've not managed to secure a fight. Many fights were mentioned, but many people said no to it as well.
But that's it, because when you look at these Saudi Arabia cards, the Riyadh season cards, the winners tend to stay on, don't they? With it, like Joe Parker, he's had a couple of good wins, and Zhilei Zhang, he's had a couple of outings there, and Anthony Joshua, of course. So I guess it's been kind of frustrating that you've not been given those opportunities as well.
It is, but you need to bear in mind that the two main promoters at the time and still are in Saudi are Eddie and Frank, and I'm sure they'd be looking to put their own fighters on before Martin Bakole.
Yeah, that
But
makes
the
sense.
landscape's changing. The landscape's maybe changing a wee bit there as well.
Yeah, of course. Now you mentioned there that there was a possibility of a fight with Joe Joyce. Of course, it's Jared Anderson. Of the two, Billy, what do you think is the more difficult fight for Martin Bakole?
The motive or Jared Anderson? Aye, I obliterate Joe Joyce. Way too fast. Way too fast. Too clever. Faster feet, faster hands, more intelligent. Just a far better fight than Joe.
You
And
know, now
even more so now.
yeah, of course, of course. You know, it's something I was going to get onto later in the interview, but since we talk about Joe Joyce, what do you make of the fight with Derek Chisora this weekend?
It's not a great fight, is it? I don't think.
Who's your money on if you was to back a winner?
I wouldn't put money in either of them to be fair. I really don't know. I mean, Joe was terrible against Cash Ali. Took 10 rounds to get Cash Ali out. But Derek never looked great against was it Jared Washington his last fight? He never looked good either. So it could be the first one that lands, really, couldn't it? I
Yeah,
think no. At this stage of his career, I think Chisora might have the better chin.
interesting. I think from that aspect, it is quite an interesting fight for what they have left, if that makes sense. They're almost like a equal footing. You know, a couple of years back, I think you'd make Joe Joyce a huge favourite, wouldn't you?
No, not necessarily. No, Derek Chisora's fought a lot of hard fights. You know, he's never, as far as I'm aware, never said no to many people. You know, I mean, he might not have been a world champion, and I think did he fight once for a world title? He did,
Was it
didn't he?
Vitaly
Against
Klitschko?
Klitschko.
Yeah,
He's had a lot of big fights and he's earned a lot of money. So basically, you know, boxers are in it to make money, and he's had a great career. He's fought a lot of good fights, a lot of tough men, and you know, if you have half the career he's had, then you'll do well.
yeah, absolutely. Bringing it back round to Martin Bakole, I know he was down at Peter Fiore's gym last week sparring Hughie Fiore, Matty Harris, and things like that. Talk to me about that, Billy. How did those sparring sessions go?
Very well. Martin, Hughie and Matty were doing 2 in 2 out. Martin done 14 straight through, so you know, his fitness is very good now.
With Jared Anderson, there was talk initially before the 5 versus 5 Matchroom Queensbury event, before Wilder was beaten by Zhilei Zhang, that Turki Al-Sheikh was thinking of putting Jared Anderson with Deontay Wilder. Obviously, that fell apart with Zhang's win over Wilder. What was your thoughts on that fight if that would have been made instead of Martin Bakole, Billy? What would you thought about Jared Anderson against Deontay Wilder?
Well, the way Anderson's boxed the last 2 or 3 fights, I'm positive Anderson would have stopped him,
Do you think
as
his
Martin Bakole would have.
Yeah, of course. Do you think with Deontay Wilder now, after a distinguished career as WBC heavyweight world champion, do you think he's come to the end of the road now? Would you, if he was in his corner, advise him to hang them up?
100%. Anybody with a grain of decency in them should be telling him. Anybody that cares for him should be telling him to stop boxing. But unbelievably, he get moved higher up in the rankings the other day. Did you see that?
No, I've not seen that. That's actually quite interesting.
Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Now with to finish up on August 3rd, tell us how, without giving away too much of the game plan, but tell us how your man Matt Bakole gets the win.
Well, I wouldn't give away any of the game plan, but if the best Martin Bakole turns up and the best Jared Anderson turns up, Martin Bakole will stop him.
We look forward to a big fight. Billy, let's talk about another one of your stable, incredibly exciting fight. So talk to me about Lewis Crocker. Fantastic win, fantastic fight over with Conor Walker as his trainer. I'm not too sure how pleased you was with the exchanges that he got himself involved with, but yeah, cracking fight as a neutral in my position, and cracking fight for the fans to watch. Talk to me about Lewis Crocker.
Crocker's in a good place now. You know, there's good things happening for him. He's on a well earned break just now. Uh, Great credit to Conor Walker in that fight. He certainly exceeded what I thought he could do, without a shadow of doubt. and I told him that, I thought he was fucking brilliant. He's tough as anything. So he was, because he took some hefty shots. I mean, his right eye was welded shut. I knew it was bad during the fight, but when I seen him after the fight, I didn't realise how bad it was. So he's done exceptionally well. It's one of those fights. Connor's stock will have risen, even though he got beat. I think a good fight for him would be Paddy Donovan, possibly later in the year. I think that's a fight Connor would certainly have, and it would mean Paddy Donovan would fight a legitimate welterweight instead of, but if as good as Lewis Ritson is, he was a lightweight, a very good lightweight, excellent lightweight.
Yeah, of course. Now, we're just talking on the Crocker Walker fight before we move on to Paddy Donovan. There's certain fights, certainly, whether you're watching at home like I was on the TV or you're there in person, where, you kind of wince at some of the shots that these fighters are taking, similar to Andrew Kane against Ashley Lane on the Queensbury show the weekend just gone. When these fighters are taking incredible shots and you're thinking, these are going to knock out a horse, never mind a human being. And yeah, there was certainly an element of that with Crocker and Walker, wasn't there? There was some hellacious blows landed.
Awesome, Belton shots. But the judges, in my opinion, got it bang on right. 3 rounds to Crocker. Connor landed at five low blows, and then on the fourth time, which he should have got a point off, the referee gave him a stern warning, and then deducted a point in round 9. So there's no gripe there whatsoever for a point deduction. But a lot of his shots were missing, and a lot we're getting through. The Crocker's defence is super, super tight. Obviously, in the later rounds, a few did get through, and some of the commentary team were getting a wee bit Man United about it. But terrible. You might
Oh,
have been
boy.
partial as well, aren't you?
Let's
Oh
let's
dear.
keep the football references out of this. I'm a Man United fan and an England supporter, so I'm not going to do too well in a debate there, am I?
Oh well, your teams are doing good, aren't they?
Now, with a name you mentioned there, Billy, before you bury me even more, Paddy Donovan, that seems to be a fight that there's a lot of desire for. Lewis Crocker, Paddy Donovan, it's a huge fight. How far off that fight being made are we? Is it something you're looking at for next year, later on in the year? Where are we up to?
I don't think it'll happen this year. I don't think Donovan's team want it.
You
But there's
take
other
it?
things in the pipeline. Sorry?
Would you guys take it this year?
Oh, in a heartbeat. But there's bigger opportunities potentially for Lewis.
Okay, okay.
Much bigger, much bigger.
Okay, interesting. It's quite an interesting division, though, isn't it? The welterweight division. You've got Jaron Ennis there, seemingly at the top, but with Crawford and Spence moving up to 154, it's a very open division, and it's going to be, as you say, a lot of opportunities there for fighters like Lewis Crocker with his style, with his record, undefeated, very marketable fight. There's going to be a lot of opportunities there, maybe quicker than it would have been a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Ennis, I think, is a standout without a shadow of doubt,
Yeah.
and I believe I think he'll move up to fight the winner of Crawford and Madrimov. I think that he fights the winner of they two, possibly even in December.
In an ideal world, Billy, how many fights would you say Lewis is off challenging for a world title in an ideal world?
Next,
I had a feeling he was going to say that.
it could happen next.
We look forward to it. Billy, a couple of other fighters in your stable. Talk to me about Luke Bibby, the journey he's on at the start of his professional career. Very exciting fighter, and he's hardly put a foot wrong in his fledgling career at the minute.
Well, Luke's going to be a star in Scottish boxing. He's already. I mean, we're fortunate that there's 2 lightweights in Scotland just now that are fighting a fine eliminator. Reese Cleggan, Regan Cleggan or something, and Kyle Boyd. They're fighting a fine eliminator. I would put Luke Bibby in with both of them tomorrow, and he'd beat both of them, no problem. Luke has had 4 fights, 4 wins. He's got another fight next month in Renfrew, and then he's fighting October the 3rd in Glasgow as well, just outside Glasgow. He's going to be signing a contract with a top promoter, and good. He'll have about 8 fights this year in his first professional year, which is fantastic. 7 anyway, which is fantastic for a first-year pro. But he's improving so much. He's improving immensely. You know what? You know his introduction to boxing was being Lewis Crocker's sparring partner for Tyrone McKenna. What a welcome to pro boxing, eh? That madman coming at you every day. Oh, but he said to me after the first round. He said to me after the first round, the very first round he sparred in my gym with Lewis, he said, "Fucking hell, I've never been hit like that in my life."
Jesus, what
And
an introduction to the
sport. Kept
sport.
coming back, kept giving him great rounds. Do you know? And Joe McNally's stable invited him down to spar Josh Taylor for the Catterall fight, and they said he was exceptional down there, and they invited him down to spar Pierce O'Leary for his last fight there, and they said he'd done exceptionally well with him as well. So all good development. He's a consummate professional, this young lad.
Exciting times. We look forward to
Really
following
is.
that journey.
Well, very much so. Aye. If he
Speaking,
just keep screwing it up, which I think he will, then we could be on to a good fighter, a right good fighter.
yeah, as I say, we look forward to following that journey. Speaking of exciting fighters in your stable, Billy, Zoltan Zauerbek, he continues winning, continues putting on spectacular performances. Where's he up to at the minute?
He's no longer with me. He's
Ah,
no
okay.
longer in Glasgow. He's moved over to LA. It's something that he always wanted to do, and he was over there in training camp for his last fight.
Right.
Manny Ribble's gym.
Yeah. Ah, okay. Interesting.
He's over there now, and that boy's so talented. It's unreal.
Yeah. Definitely one
If
of my
he
favorite
doesn't win
fighters
a
to watch.
if he doesn't win a world title, it's an injustice.
Yeah, it
He's some
remains.
fighter. Oh, he's some fighter.
So I'm guessing you kind of
So good,
separated on
best
good
of luck to
terms.
him. He's a cracking lad as well. Oh, 100%, aye, 100%. I always knew he was wanting to go to America, so I'm not going to stand in his way.
Of course, Billy. Well, yeah, Billy, that almost wraps up everything that I wanted to speak to you about tonight. So is there anything you'd like to add before we finish?
No, I just hope that we come back with a cracking victory, and Martin leaves the doubters in no doubt that he's a world-class fighter.
Absolutely. I wish you, Martin, the stable, the best of luck moving forward, Billy. I thank you again for your time. Guys, I appreciate you watching the interview. Make sure you hit that like button, the subscribe button, give us a share, and I'll catch you on the next interview.